What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Existential Stoic podcast. Today is a quick fix number 37, being more influential. As if influential wasn't enough, we're going to talk about being more influential. I'm Randy. I'm here with my buddy Danny. What's going on, Danny?
What's up, Randy? And, well, you know what they say, though, right? Once you're influential, you got to be more influential.
Because it's never
You
enough.
don't stop there. Yeah,
it's never enough. I think with pretty much everything in life, we've figured that out.
So, we know that, yeah.
So this is just a short little episode. We're going to go over 3 tips each on how to be more influential. I'm going to start because I introduced this episode. So my first one is stop trying to impress others. Like, this is something that you see so often. Like, I have a friend, and it's not Danny. But Danny was like this in high school too, and I'm pretty sure he's like this now as well. But like, somebody who doesn't care what you think. Like, I know you all have friends like that, and you're like, damn, why couldn't I just do that? And it's like, they're influential because they don't care. Like, everybody else is trying to get everyone's approval. They just don't give a shit. And because of that, they're very, very influential. So stop trying to impress others, and that will actually help you to be influential because you won't be needy. You'll be living your life, and people will see that and they want that.
Not to mention too, I love that one because, it's a sign of confidence, and people love confidence. It's funny that you mentioned that too. This is just on a side, totally digression, because why not? It's funny. I remember too being in college, like all my friends like being like, I want to get a girl, but I can't get a girl. And they're going out and they're trying so hard to impress them to be a certain way. And it's like, you're putting on a front. And you're either going to have to keep that up indefinitely, or the relationship's going to fall apart because you're not representing yourself accurately. It's like, if you just are yourself, you don't have to worry about all that crap,
Yep.
It's like,
that's one of the biggest scams about the whole pickup thing is they try and convince you to be some alpha male, which you're not. So you'll get the girl, you'll sleep with her once, and then she'll realize you're not an alpha male, and she'll dump you. Like, it's the dumbest thing. You have to be that way forever.
Yeah, it is. It really is. All right, I like that one. My first one is actually a quote. Gandhi said that we should be the change we want to see in the world. And I really like this because it's this idea of setting the example, being exemplary, not looking to others, not worrying about others, but being that change. If you know something's right, just doing it. And that's, I think, one of the ways to be influential, is going after those things and being that person, right?
Dude, I love that quote. Like, I feel like that's had a large impact in my life, that quote. Because there are so many people who want to change the world. Like, look at all these politicians, and we're not going to digress into politics, but look at all of them.
No.
Like, everybody's so convinced that the world should be this way and everybody should act some other way. And it's like, how, you could, number one, you could clothe the whole world in an inch of leather to walk comfortably. Or number two, you could put on a pair of shoes. It's like, fix yourself, dog. But I'm not telling you to do that. I'm doing that myself. You can do you.
Well, but it's funny, right? It's like, you can do you, and I think that's important, because you're right. All those people, like those politicians and stuff, they're all looking outside, trying to blame others and trying to, be self-righteous, but they're not doing shit themselves. And I think that's the biggest fault.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So my next one actually is a corollary of that. It's be the best version of you. So, like, in order to be influential, you want to be exceptional. Like, and that requires a lot. Like, everybody that we look up to that's influential, they've done something with their life, but they didn't do somebody else's life. They did what was uniquely their own life, and they did that to the best possible extent that they could. And because of that, we look up to them, we're influenced by them. So I think that's really important, to find out who you are and then live that to the utmost, the best degree that you can.
I like that one too. And it's that goes for anything too. Like, if if you want to be the best in something, it's doing it to the best of your ability, right? It's putting all your effort in, 500%, or however you want to phrase it. That's a good one. It's important. My second one's kind of very straightforward. It's just be dependable and be on time. I think, we've talked about this before in a couple other episodes, but I think this is like just a great starting point, that if you want to be influential, you also have to do stuff, and you have to commit to things, and you actually have to do what you say. And part of that is just like, one way to start that is being dependable, and, starting to be that type of person. Then people will ask you to do things, and they'll rely on you, and they'll want you to be part of whatever they're doing.
Because they'll know that you are reliable. They know that they can go to you. Like, I've heard it said in one book that, like, if I have work to give somebody, I'm going to give it to somebody who's busy, because they'll know how to fit it in. Whereas if I give it to somebody who doesn't have anything on their plate, it's never going to get done. And
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. I like that one.
yeah. So my last one is, this is from my least favorite book on earth, or at least that's where I heard it. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But actually, listen to others. This is, so if you want to be influential, like there's that saying, people will care how much you know once they know how much you care. So like actually listening to other people, understanding other people, being compassionate with other people. Once you start recognizing that they're people, they have wants, they have needs, they have dreams, they have difficulties, everything, and starting to understand them, all of a sudden, once you relate, then you're in a position where you can be influential because they'll actually care. But up until that point, they don't really care.
Yeah, I like how you phrase that too, because I was also, when you first said that, I was thinking too, like, of like listening to know how you can also target what you're doing, right? And actually be an influence rather than just like thinking all the answers, which I think is the other side of that. It's a good one. For the record, I think everybody says that, so I don't think you have to worry about the book.
Yeah, that book just grinds
Take a
my
stab
gears.
at it anyway.
They made me read it in college, and it was like one of those garbage books. I tried reading it over again numerous times, and every time I'm like, gosh, this is garbage. Way too long.
I think you go
It could
back to it just
literally
so you can
be
keep kicking
7.
that dead horse.
Yeah, it could literally be 7 steps. You don't need an explanation for any of it, but he goes into
No.
like hundreds of pages of explanations, and yeah, garbage.
Yeah. It's a
Mhm.
lot of books. You can make it one page. You know what I
But you
mean?
know what?
It's like
Nobody ever built a statue to a critic, so clearly he's
no.
done pretty well with that book.
Yeah, he has. It's been very popular.
Yeah.
All right. My last one, so we keep this a quick fix rather than a long fix. My last one is, it's 2 parts. It's identify who your idols are and then model your behavior. And I think we forget at how important this is. Like, if you want to be influential and you want to be better and you want to be an example, sometimes you just need to first identify, like, who matters? Who do you think is important? Who do you think has lived well? And what can you take from their life? What can you learn, both from their mistakes and their successes, right? To be that type of person and to be successful. I think that's a easy one.
Dude, that's a great one. I actually have 2 things that I wanted to say about that because it is such a good one. So the first one, like reading biographies of people's lives, because you can take
God, yeah.
80 years, you can condense it into a book that'll take you a few hours to read, and you can gain all that knowledge. So that's like huge, modeling people, very, very helpful. The second thing for being influential, I've read about how the most popular person in the room is usually the person who's going around introducing themselves to everybody. It's counterintuitive to what we think, because we think we need to be somebody so everybody will come talk to us. But generally, the most popular person in the room is actually the person who's doing what's within their own control and introducing themselves to everybody.
I want to add something too. I love what you said about biographies, because I was thinking about that the other day. I think reading biographies is great too, because you also realize how hard people struggled. Like, no matter who it is, whether you're talking about like somebody who started a business or like a philosopher or whatever, like you see how difficult times they had, and that it's not always easy and peachy, and we're seeing the end result. And I think that's also important when you're modeling, right? Is that we're looking at kind of the consequence, not the process. So yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a good way to think.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So that in a nutshell is being more influential, not just influential, but being more influential.
More so.
Yeah, this is the Existential Stoic podcast. You can listen to us on the podcast services. You can watch us on YouTube. I'm Randy. That's my buddy, Danny. I'll see you later, Danny.
Later, Randy.